Hello guys, Joker the Fool here, back at it again with the 107th episode of the Braxcast, and this is an exciting one because we've got the announcement of a new book along with the Primeval statue that I'm going to unbox. So I'm going to get right into this with Smuggler'S Stich. So this is a 56-page book, basically giving us Cedric's background story. So Cedric Gaucho appears at the very end of Isom number 1 and a little bit in Isom number 2. And I had said a while ago on a live stream that I did for Braxcast Live that it'd be really cool to see Cedric get his own book, and now that is happening. It's being brought to you none other than Carol Brown, who is the writer, Igor Texera, who is an art director for the Rippaverse, getting his first interior work of the Rippaverse in this book. And the trailer, if you watch it, it looks really good. I love his style. It's going to fit really well with the story. And Pedro Estuco is doing the colors for this book. So the pre-orders end on the 27th of April. It will release on the 22nd of July. It's going to be a 56-page book. I'll go over the covers. I'll flash them on the screen. So cover A is by Gianluca Gugliotta and colored by Marcos Martins. Arlo Benedito is doing the colors, or is doing the cover for cover B. And then cover C is by Anna Rudd, but that is coming soon, so I'm not going to show that on the screen all nice and big. But this is an absolutely really intriguing book. This is going to feature Cedric doing his stint with the SSWL, which if you read Isom 1 that's mentioned, and then you're going to have aliens mentioned in that, which I believe in Isom number 1, if you read that, mentions having like extraterrestrial stuff involved. So it's really cool that that's going to be blown open. I love the logo for Smuggler'S Stich. I love the concept for it, and I love the character Cedric actually getting explored a little bit. So really, really excited for this. Another fantastic pre-order. Just basic free books, no merch options. This is a bit too small of a this is definitely too small of a project, and there's so much other stuff that they can't make shirts and hats or everything, and that's definitely not where the Rippaverse is at. But I did want to mention that the release schedule is definitely chugging along. There's probably going to be something next week. I am absolutely struggling to keep up with this release schedule, but I'm really, really happy that it is as exciting as it is. But we've got a really, really interesting, or a really cool thing in the Rippaverse Primeval statue. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. So this is the box that it comes in. This is like a McFarlane Toys. The Yaira statue came in a much bigger one, but not excited for this little old cardboard box. Actually want to get the statue in and of itself, and don't mind that. This is it, guys. So this is the Primeval statue. This is the front. You got the side right here. You've got the other side right there, and you've got the back saying that Avery Silman's a common ranger, but that wasn't always the case. After obtaining some unique abilities, Avery spent a brief stint being a hero under the moniker Isom in the city of Forest Park. Realizing that it wasn't for him, he walked away from this life, but after responding to a call from his sister, some violent altercations ensue, and has Avery reconsidering his approach, which is basically a synopsis to Isom number 1. And I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but you got the McFarlane Toys logo, and you've got, Rippaverse Isom there. So this is really, really cool. But what you want to see is the opening here. So you got a little Velcro here, and isn't that epic? So got the cover A of Isom number 1. This is definitely like the most iconic Rippaverse cover. And then, of course, you've got the Isom action figure in and of himself in this all his glory. But this is the one that I am going to unbox. And then we will go over the character card along with the collector's edition, the one with the certificate of authenticity. But let us go ahead and get this unboxed. So we're going to do this. It's a live unboxing. I got my trusty Leatherman here to unbox this bad boy. If I can, there we go. Let's see, we can actually, want to actually get it without like, oh, there's another one right there. There we go. Wonderful. So now I can actually, hopefully, open this without like destroying the box. There we go. Fantastic. So let us open the whole entire thing, just like that. So here we go. So I'm going to get this box closed up. Oh, actually, there we go. Definitely a little bit awkward, but this is it, and it's plastic. It does seem like he is tied up quite well. You see on the back here. So we'll see. It's got all these like clips on the back. So let's see if I can't. I'm going to pause, and then we'll come back with all of this out in all of its glory. Okay, guys, I got Isom out of his packaging. Very well packaged, like it was in the Irish stash. And of course, this is just your regular sort of articulated action figure. I'm not sure if he can. Yeah, you can bend at the knees, although these knee joints are a little bit stiff. Feet can bend as well. And since, we've got this whole pack of, hands and heads right here, we can pop off. Let's see. See if I can't, trying to like figure out, there we go. Whew. It's a bit odd. But of course you can, put on different heads. If I can actually get it to work. It's a little bit finicky, but let's see. It's not the most. I'm not the best with these, so you gotta forgive me. But this is, of course, young Isom, so this is quite cool. But there we go. I'm not sure actually. Oh, actually, so I don't think I broke it, but I think I might. Let's see, but that is putting his head on. Does seem to be, does seem like it can articulate, but it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like as solidly in there as I would want it to be, but that might just be a me thing. So, and I'm not the, so there you go, you can put like different hands on, which is quite cool. Of course, like it's got a very robotic like look to it, but that's not, of course, it's of course like not the intention of doing that. But you've got like different hands. Of course, you've got like a fist there. You can just like have them like, oh, down like that. So this is definitely a good bit of fun. And of course, you can put that there. So this is definitely, would be fun to play around with. So you got that. So of course, this is my, young Isom. Of course, we can do like a really aggressive Isom. Oop. So we can have both fists, if I can just get the thing all correct. Oof. Let's see here. There we go. You can see like he's got both fists on now. There you go. He looks ready to tumble. You can see that. So this is definitely cool. You definitely have a lot of fun playing around with this. Of course, he can have his arms like that. You can put them up like that. Of course, like I said, I don't have it the most like, I don't want to like break it. So at the same time, it's not like in there all the way, the head. So like the hands I find to be a bit easier, but this is a bit of a learning curve for me since I don't have much, actually I don't have any experience with action figures. But this is the Isom action figure. Of course, we got young Isom there. And of course, this is our older battle-hardened Avery. And there you go. The head snaps in like that pretty well. But I just need to, let's see. Yeah, I guess the young Isom, let's see, it might be the Afro or something. It just has a little bit of a hard time like clicking in. But anyway, so that's young Isom. Moves pretty easily. And then, ooh, that was a bit funny. But yeah, so you got our battle-hardened Avery. And of course, all these, accessories, these various hands and everything, we can like take a look at these. One thing I had mentioned is like if this is going to be like an actual, you know, brand of toys that like you can go to Walmart, because Walmart sells a bunch of toys that, you know, is going to be picked up by a kid. It's got to be in like that $20 range, and just having like this kind of Isom or something like that, or like young Isom with like this head as the only one, you just reduce the amount of like things you can put on, or have none at all. So that way there's less, you know, stuff to manufacture, which means you can lower the price point. That means you can make this an impulse buy for the parents, which is pretty cool. But this is a high quality action figure. The painting feels nice. All the joints articulate quite well. Even if, you know, some do feel a bit stiff. I mean, you can even have like, you can see like his, you know, toes can like articulate as well. So this is definitely something you can have a lot of fun with. I imagine, you know, I've seen some people do stop motion animation with the Rippaverse, and this is going to be like a really high quality one to do that, to do with. I'm sure people will buy like, will have multiple of these and like mess around with it. But I'm going to leave that, there, and we are going to cover, basically, I want to show off the other one. But yeah, I'll clear all of this off because there's only so much I can show off, and I've been fumbling around with it so much, but it is quite a cool action figure. So of course, this is the collector's edition. This is number 15. Does come up with its certificate of authenticity 15 of 300, certified by Brendan Taylor, who's the operations manager, and this was done January 9th, 2026. And things were quite different back then, although it was not too long ago, so what am I saying? But this is cool, it's nice and laminated. This, of course, certifies that this is a collector's version. I did mess it up a little bit. If you guys want to see, I cut it up a little bit when opening this, so it's near mint, but not as mint as the other one, sadly. And this is just the same exact thing, basically, actually, exactly. So you got our, you know, action figure there, all of its glory, all that stuff that I mentioned, that I just played around with, and it is quite a cool action figure. But this is just the collector's edition. It's got that 15 on, so I was able to get that because I had the money at the time. And the one last thing that I want to show off is this. So this is the special Isom card. So of course, Isom Dokumon card number 1. It's black. It's got a different drawing of Isom. I'm sure you've already seen it. But I do want to show off this one. This is, of course, Will Conrad doing the art. I believe he does the art for all of them. I've reviewed every single Dokumon card, including this one right now. And as I've always said with these, it's really hard, basically impossible to show off the lenticular effect on camera, but it definitely looks really cool. Looks cool as always, and I absolutely love this golden style. So this is going to be we're going to get more information of Isom. So this is Avery Silman, 6 foot, 200 pounds, born in Flores Park, Texas, first appearing in Isom number 1, which April 22. It's more like we got it in October of 22, but that is not the most meaningful thing. The more I see from the Silman family, the more my curiosity is piqued. Avery is a man who raises many questions, but what is certain is that he is no common except he is his generation's peaker, a unique being descended from a Galilean healed by Jesus of Nazareth during his walk on the mortal plane. Avery is a man of remarkably strong will, but this has shown itself to be both a barrier and a boon, depending on his circumstances, which in turn appear to impact the potency of his abilities. Isom's abilities are among the most intriguing I've witnessed. What I now understand to be a peaker encompasses so much more than the impressive strength and agility I've borne witness to from his mother. Herself, the peaker of her generation, has stated he can perform feats even she cannot. So Isom is stronger than his mother. We saw in Great War Separation, I believe it was number 2, if I'm remembering correctly. I believe it was number 2. Some of Harriet Silman's strength, yes. So interesting stuff. This is stuff we know from reading Isom number 3, which I recommend you guys read, but cool to have it in the Dokumon card. But this is more like just a cool collector's edition. Of course, I did buy 2 of these guys, so one of these will be part of that grand prize giveaway, and now that I have it, I will be announcing that pretty soon. This weekend has been very busy, so might be next weekend, but it'll definitely be very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But that's really all I have for you guys today. Really, really cool stuff. Definitely, especially with this Isom action figure, really cool to finally get it in our hands. This is definitely quite high quality. And of course, I'm not sure if I can show off the Isom statue all that well. Because, it's, let's see. Yeah, but if you take a look at that, I'm trying to like compare it in the overhead, but it's definitely quite a bit smaller than the Isom statue. But the Isom statues, of course, this is by Iron Studios, really cool. Definitely a lot more expensive than the Isom action figure, but this is definitely the second collaboration with McFarlane Toys. Really, really cool that they were able to do this. And it's definitely a high quality action figure. It just feels substantial. Everything feels really good, articulates quite well. It is a bit stiff, but especially like I said, the knees, they don't bend all that much. But you kind of want that, stiffness to be there because you don't want it to be super, super flimsy. But this is definitely a full articulating action figure. It's got a bunch of removable parts. You can have a lot of fun with this, especially if you're like a stop motion guy and you want to do like stop motion animation. You got a lot of options with what's available. And I'm sure people will paint that because you could probably, do a bunch of characters in the Rippaverse with the base Isom model. Don't think you could do like a Yaira or an Ingrid or any female character, but you could definitely do a whole bunch of other ones. And I'm sure some of them will be very creative because these guys, paint Warhammer figurines and they'll figure it out. But that is way out of my wheelhouse. I'm just a guy who makes videos about the Rippaverse and sometimes other stuff. So don't look at me to do that. It's not Roman history related, so I can't. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode of the Braxcast. Joker is out.
Thank you for tuning in to the Braxcast. Be sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe to keep up with the Rippaverse.